Hello and welcome back to the Scots for Mike podcast. I'm James Scott, and joining us for this episode we've got Finn Crockart, fresh back off the plane from his holiday.
Yeah, straight from the airport, but good to be back.
And we've also been joined by Gordon Sheach. He had good things about the podcast. He liked the first episode and he was like, I want in on that. I'm coming along.
Thank you very much, guys. Glad that you had an extra mic for me.
Yeah.
Come straight from the pub.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Still a bit, had time to sober up though, but yeah, I know it's been. I welcome you into our studio.
Yeah, thank you. Some setup you've got here.
Some
Very professional.
I wish you guys could see what we can see right now. Yeah, I'm going to be getting in trouble again for taking over the entire living room. So, but yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's been a crazy week, crazy day.
Very crazy day.
Recording on the Sunday, fresh off an Old Farm Scottish Cup quarter final.
Ding dong.
Yeah, that was
Proper.
yeah, stuff went down. Is about the keeping it light. But we'll get on to that. We've got an itinerary we're going to work our way through today. First of all, women's team, Scotland national team.
Yep.
What a start
On the march.
Yep,
Great start. Yeah, 2 games, 12 goals. And I think we mentioned off camera, great to see Caroline Weir kind of bringing her club form that she's had at Real Madrid into the national team with that hat-trick in the 5-0 win. And then obviously carrying it into the 7-0 with, you said 4 assists?
4 assists. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically the way this World Cup campaign's working is it's actually pretty hard to wrap your head around. So I don't blame anyone for not being able to get it because we
Just watch an explainer video off camera.
I tried to explain it to Gordon. We sat down and watched that video again. It was the Amy
Canavan, the BBC.
Yeah, the
yep.
BBC. We watched that. Still kind of struggled.
Watched it again.
I was like,
Watched it again.
I was like,
again.
did I have too many tenants at the pub, or is this just hard to? So it's basically, I feel like the easiest way to describe it is the Nations League seems to replace the World Cup qualifying, and because of that, Scotland can, and I feel this is pretty naff to be honest. Scotland can't qualify for the World Cup automatically.
Directly, yeah.
Yeah, so
From this group, yeah.
The teams in the A League can. We're in Group B4, so essentially, as long as we don't finish last, we're guaranteed a playoff. But
Yep.
basically,
it seems like the better you do in this group, the kind of more gentle a path you might get through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be difficult. As we know, with the men's team, qualifying for a World Cup is always going to be harder than qualifying for a Euros. There's fewer spots for European teams. So we will have to go through some tough teams eventually to get to World Cup. I think if I was to say, I mean, put a positive spin on this, being in League B gives you an opportunity to get a really good head start and a really good bit of momentum going, as we've seen this week with these 2 big wins. Yes, caveat, it's Luxembourg. So, again, absolutely no disrespect to them, but it's teams you would expect us to be beating, but we've gone out and demolished and dominated both games. Yeah. Excellent. So this gives us a really good opportunity, get form, get momentum, get some goals up, get a new system in place, and then when it comes around to playoff time, we're ready to rock and roll. And again, to Finn's point there, Caroline Weir, obviously you captain. She's been a real kind of talisman for the team, or she's been a player that we've always looked to be a real talisman for the Scotland team. But I think so good to see her translating, as you said, that club form. She's obviously playing at Real Madrid. They're doing really well in the Women's Champions League this year. They're in the quarterfinal against Barcelona, so they've got a home and away tie against Barcelona.
Ballon d'Or nomination as well, obviously.
Ballon d'Or, but she's actually the second top goal scorer in Women's Champions League this season out of everyone in Europe. So that's five goals so far. So yeah, she's doing great over there in Spain. But yeah, fantastic to see her bring it back.
It's good because that was Melissa Andrata's first competitive wins.
Yeah.
She took over at the end of the Nations League campaign. Pedro had obviously not long left. Things weren't looking good. I think the performances, I mean, I remember watching the playoff for the Euros, and it was just so far below what we expect of realistically a good group of players.
Yeah.
And the team looks like in a good place. So obviously it was 5-0 away to Luxembourg. The way this group is working, because we've got Israel as a team, they are not every other group's doing this, but we seem to be doing double headers.
Yeah.
So
we got Belgium next.
Yeah, we had Luxembourg.
That's the tough one.
Yeah. We had Luxembourg 5-0 away to Luxembourg, and then we came home 1-7-0. So in Luxembourg, it was a weird hat trick along with Jen, Clark, and McGovern scoring, and then we came home, McGovern and Clark getting on the goals again, double for both, and then Davidson, Lawton, and McEnany got their goals too. Plus, like I said, 4 assists from Caroline Weir, so not too bad. But then it's April. They have their next fixtures. double header against Belgium, first of those at Easter Road. We'd encourage people to try and get tickets if they are they have a
They're
free
available.
night.
Yeah.
Well, it's free. If you're a
100%.
Scotland Supporters Club
Mhm.
member, why not? I mean, I've got my ticket. Managed to drag some other people along as well. So you're in Edinburgh. So maybe sometimes, I appreciate sometimes it's harder to get through to Glasgow for games. If you're local, great opportunity. But
Good atmosphere as well. Real family friendly. Like, unfortunately, I was meant to be there at the game yesterday. Unfortunately, chicken pox reared its ugly head in our house. So I was going to take my wife and daughter. We're going to come, and for the three of us to go, it cost me the princely sum of £10. So I got my ticket for free, kids' ticket was free, and a tenner for an adult non-member. So it can't say fairer than that, can you?
Yeah. So get along if you can, because well, you might see me there in my jacket. This was literally the feedback from the like we're just
Fit check.
fit check.
Absolutely nothing about the podcast. Just where can I get that jacket?
Obviously, we had like after the first video one, we were like, oh, let's like reach out feedback from different people. Gordon was like, it's great, I want to come on. Other folk were like, oh, like it was quite good, but like this, like that. Everyone asked personally, just went, where did you get the jacket from? So like, yeah, I mean,
Tell the people. Don't gatekeep that.
You have to gatekeep it. You have to gatekeep it.
The thing is, it's like it's score draw, but it's like I bought it out of Burton's in Dunfermline maybe 10 years ago.
So
like,
stay off the topic of Dunfermline.
Oh, right, okay. That's like, you know what?
Segue.
That's a good segue right there.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the Scottish Cup. Finn, could your team have spared me a little bit of pain and not let my local rivals get into a Scottish Cup semi-final? What happened? Did you watch it?
I luckily was not watching it. Was away in Portugal and couldn't find, well, not surprisingly, couldn't find a pub that was showing Dunfermline versus Aberdeen. And yeah, horrific. I'm not overly surprised by the result, but the performance and the scoreline, where it could have actually been more than 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
it's a
just
cracking goal. The
shocking.
opening one for
Yeah.
Matthew Todd. I mean, he's wound up with Rovers fans in the past, but I mean, it's such a
Including you.
strike. Yeah, include me. I include myself in that. But I mean, there's a sniff of offside in that goal. The defender that headers it clear is under pressure, I guess you could say, from an offside attacker. Maybe VAR would have ruled that out. Who knows? They weren't covering that game because it was at East End Park. And fair play to him. One touch, caught it on the volley, bang, 1-0, and Aberdeen's chasing from that point. And then Thomas grabs 2 goals after him, and like Aberdeen or Dunfermline's out of sight by that point.
Yeah, no, I mean it'll be the first year where Aberdeen's not Hampden for 4 years. So yeah, disappointing, but not
Reigning champions out.
Yeah, I know. I
think clinging on to that for last year. So
the amount of times I've used it on you. No, I was that was the last kind of hope I had for the season, because obviously league's done. We're clearly bottom six, not even mathematically possible. And now the job is just don't get scraped into a relegation playoff. Honestly,
and did you have a stat about the last time a Scottish Cup semi-final included that?
No, I didn't.
If you know in the comments,
let us know in the comments. Last time a non-Premiership team got to a Scottish Cup semi-final. Obviously, there's a few that spring to mind.
Ross County is 2010. So
Inverness 2017.
Oh, could have been. That's a shout.
When they got to the final against Celtic.
Yeah. That's I can't really call another one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you know, let us know in the comments. But obviously, Dunfermline will be at Hampden against one of Falkirk, Celtic, and then St Mirren Partick Thistle, which is going on tonight.
Aye, so obviously Falkirk won 2-1 against Dundee United.
Yeah.
That was Yeats and Barney Stewart, obviously in great form for Falkirk. Came back on. He was on loan at Dunfermline first half of the season. Returned to Falkirk, and he's settled in quite well to the squad, grabbing goals.
I did see a comment online, someone saying that he has Jamestown written all over him.
Jamestown.
You know, let's see if he makes a bigger move. But
for Hearts or Brighton?
For Hearts, maybe.
See where Shanklin ends up at the end of the transfer window. But no, his rise from what was it? The seventh
uni student.
Yeah, the seventh tier.
Shared a pitch. Well, not shared a pitch. I know a boy that shared a pitch on Harry Watt, and he was like, he was like prattling on about, going, "Oh, he's really good," and turns out he's not bad.
He's not bad. Yes.
Yep.
Seventh tier started last season. Then we'll say got the move. Been on loan at Dunfermline. And yeah, he's banging him in. I think he scored a hat trick in the Premiership.
Did you?
Scored a couple of braces, and he's really kicking on. And I think we mentioned off camera that with the injuries we've got in the Scotland squad, it might not be a bad outside shout. Obviously,
you never know. It's a friendly. You never know.
Well, I saw him. I saw James McFadden the other day was talking him up for Scotland as well, talking about his all-round game.
He's a really good
his
finisher.
physicality, his pace, and obviously his finishing as well. And again, like you say, we're not overly blessed for forward options, also we have forward options in the Scotland team that you know exactly what you're going to get from them. So I'm sure we'll go on to talk about it. But this camp in March, I think it's the opportunity, given that Clark will know ultimately what most of his squad is, let's be honest, for the summer.
Probably 18 of
exactly
the 23 or 26.
Because he's so loyal and that's the team he's got.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity. I think there'll be a lot of players that come into this squad in March. Like Mark Leonard as well was getting linked.
Yeah,
he got. There was a story yesterday about him potentially getting called up. I think I said it on the last podcast.
You did.
I said a wild card, and you went Mark Leonard. Mark Leonard. That's a horrible shout.
No, I did not say it was a horrible shout. I just said
you said that was really rogue.
I said maybe it was a bit rogue, but it was. It is the most competitive area of the pitch in terms of the Scotland squad.
Yeah, obviously.
And I think you also tipped Elliot Watt.
One thing
I did say was one would get in if any, but not both. But yeah, no, things are going good.
Yeah, Elliot Watt gave us a follow on Instagram the other day as well. So
good lad.
I'll be definitely supporting him a bit more now.
Well, we'll talk about Motherwell in a minute once we've wrapped up the Scottish Cup stuff. So Dunfermline and Falkirk were the first teams into the semi-final. The draw hasn't been made as of right now. Obviously, you guys don't know.
It'll be made tonight.
It'll get made tonight. We're just going to have to guess who's won out at Partick and St Mirren. Obviously, St Mirren will be favourites there. Me and Gordon.
Will they? I think there's an upset there. I genuinely think there is.
Bookies surely they'll be all.
Well, bookies,
but
in the Premiership, St Mirren have been.
Yeah.
Well,
again, in the cup though. They've
done
all right in the cup.
I was going to say if they hadn't won the cup, I think Stephen Robertson would probably be sacked.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I think in the same way that I think you could kind of smell an upset in the air last night with Dunfermline against Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Just the general mood music around Aberdeen and also St Mirren just recently, the form just has not been there. I think Partick will be fancying their chances.
Crazy cup.
Could you imagine
that would be like
Hampden semi-final of Dunfermline versus Partick?
Yeah. Goodness me. Dunfermline Falkirk. They're rivals to a degree.
Yeah.
So I say to the degree because I hold so tightly the Fife derby. I hold it in such high regard.
I think the best would probably be Falkirk against Celtic because I think they'd be the team that would give them the biggest run for their money.
You're looking for the.
I just want anyone that's
looking
Celtic
to get put out. So
imagine like a Falkirk Dunfermline final. That's what I want to see. Honestly,
that's a shot of glory levels.
Celtic were mentioned there.
Yeah.
Interesting game at Ibrox in the last few hours has come to pass.
Yeah.
Celtic didn't register. I mean, we didn't see them register, and we also noticed on the stats apps not a single shot.
In 120
not even a
minutes.
shot on target, shot
until the penalty shootout.
Obviously that offside goal, but
the offside
count.
goal, Maeda was ruled out.
Which again, that looked so tight. And obviously, I appreciate when they do the kind of the angles on replays. The broadcast angles are different to what the VAR are looking at. But certainly from the screen that we were looking at, again, we're looking at a big projector. Maybe it wasn't the sharpest image. It's hard to see. I think it was from Scales, the flick on. Maybe I think he's come back from an offside position to flick the ball on.
Yeah, because he stopped it when he headed it, and I was like, it's not offside there.
So I think he's come from an offside position.
Yeah.
But I guess it's so tight.
And then obviously Rangers scored, and that was ruled out. But I mean, you said at the time, you're like, I think VAR might intervene here. And then when you got the replay, he only handballed it twice.
Yes. when you it was you like I said in the pub, it was one of those ones when you see it from the wide angle, the scramble inside the 6-yard box with so many players, it's pinging, it's deflecting. The ball ends up in the back of the net, and I turned to you, James. I said, "This has got a VAR rule out written all over it." And then, like you said, when you see the replay, to be fair to him, I guess the defender tries to hook it clear, and his arm just happens to be there. It comes off his arm.
It was like
and
basketball.
It looks like he's basically punched it into the net.
Yeah,
but you can't.
The thing is, he goes away celebrating. He's
with his arms in the air.
He's so convinced with the celebrations.
He surely knows though.
No, but he does know.
Aye.
That's what's crazy. Like the VAR is fake it till you make it because VAR's going to rule it out. But like he was so convinced with celebration, I was like, oh, maybe not. Like he looks pretty adamant that's going to stand. Then you saw the replay, and a chuckle went around the pub, and like everyone that was watching, because they were like, that's so ridiculous. So game to pass. 120 minutes played. Celtic haven't had a shot on target.
It
Rangers.
was a good
For
game.
sure.
Like again,
Rangers-
like for a 0-0.
No,
like,
it was
one of those
entertaining.
0-0s. It was good fun. It was intense.
Well,
I think obviously
intense
you're
from a
seeing-
Rangers point of view.
Yeah.
Because they were just the most. Anytime you looked up,
They
they
dominated.
were round the box.
Yeah.
Celtic's 18-yard box was just penned in, and you just couldn't really like just break the dam there and get
No.
in.
I mean, obviously they were missing. Like, I think it was hinted at in the pre-match with Martin O'Neill, but like obviously Cal McGregor and Kieran Tierney are both missing. Like obviously,
Yeah.
no one at that club at Celtic this season's had a brilliant season apart from maybe Negron is the one outstanding
And he's-
player there.
Sometimes been a scapegoat for Celtic fans.
He has.
somehow.
Yeah.
But you know, even with that context, like these are still big players for Celtic
Yeah.
to be missing for a trip to Ibrox. And you're right, they really struggled to get any foothold in the game all game.
I think I heard a stat when I was. You showed me obviously the scenes that came after the game, which we'll get onto. But it was something like their fourth ever win at Ibrox in a Scottish Cup, and their first
Wow.
The
since
first-
1950s.
Yeah, something
Which
crazy
is-
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably don't
Insane.
meet.
I mean,
they
yeah,
probably
they
meet
won-
in the semi-finals usually.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
just
They don't
forgot to heat
often
up the
meet
balls this
freehand
time.
them.
Yeah, the heated balls. It is.
I'm joking for legal reasons. That was a joke.
That was.
If there's anyone from the SFA listening, that was a joke. Yeah, so I penalty shout. Rangers, having been on top for the whole game, managed to put 2 over the bar,
Including Tavernier. Like
Yeah,
I said,
Tav,
again,
so
the
liable from the spot for them.
meme of penalty to Rangers, Tavernier scores. He's the one that puts it over.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I get like we said there. So Celtic go to Ibrox, play 120 minutes, don't have a single shot on goal, and then Rangers, the keeper doesn't even have to make a save in the shootout.
yeah.
And both penalties over the bar.
And it's Thomas Kivanshara
Machara, yeah,
that scores the
winner.
winner, and
Yeah.
then just bedlam her up. So obviously, Celtic progress to the semi-finals. At the Celtic end, the first time they've had the broom on stand in a while,
That's
which
the most
is
disappointing thing.
is a spectacle. You know, it really helps Scottish
It's an
football.
advert for Scottish football.
You know, same in the Edinburgh Derby when
Yeah.
you've got the full away end. It just
Yeah.
looks good, and I think the Celtic fans obviously spoil it. They spill onto the pitch. Union Bears then, who are at the opposite end of the pitch behind the goals. I don't know the name of that stand, but you know, opposite from the Broomloan stand.
Yep.
They come spilling onto the pitch, and it looks like it's kind of fizzling out. But I mean, Celtic players aren't really helping themselves in a way because not blaming the group, but that Thomas Fanchara,
Mhm.
he's taking selfies with guys.
Yeah.
And like you know, if you don't,
naturally you would expect, and again, like Celtic, and again, frankly, all teams that would win a cup game at Ibrox, they'd go to their own fans. Like
Yeah.
that's standard. You
No,
see
no,
that a
no,
million
there's going
times.
to your own
They
fans,
go
but
to
then
their own
there's like-
fans, and it's the fact that they've gone up the other end, and then they found their fans on the pitch.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then
Like-
before you know it, again,
They're
you
round them.
see the clips.
Yeah.
And again, O'Neill as well. He's on the pitch, and he's got fans running up to him, grabbing a selfie with him. And again, in that moment, you're like, what can you do? Like, yeah, they get off the pitch.
to be
pretty
fair,
quick.
I accosted someone for a selfie today.
You did,
Yeah.
yes. Do you want to share with the
yeah,
group?
so basically, outside of the football realm, there was a big result for Scotland in the rugby yesterday.
Massive.
The biggest result, a record
A
result.
huge result, and Captain
Sione Tuipulotu.
Sino Tupilotu. I mean, thank you.
Say
for
that
getting
10 times
Yeah,
fast.
Yeah.
I've got it wrong every time I've said it. So Gordon saved me there.
One more time.
Sione Tuipulotu.
Sione Tupilotu. I was walking a dog down to Stockbridge, and I turned the corner, and there he is, just
Chilling.
kicking about in the street with his
Chilling
son. So as you know, I'm criticising Fanchara, but I didn't really give Sione much an option there. I was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
come on, let me take a photo.
So do
He's
your
like,
impression of what you said about your dog.
Oh, he's like, no. He was just,
It's a good
He
impression.
was
It's
enamored
good,
by,
that's good.
you know, he had his wee boy, and he was like, oh, say hello to this guy's doggy, and like,
Do the voice.
he's like,
Do the voice.
what's that said?
Brew.
Look, my son. No, but he said in a really nice day. He was like,
Look, my son.
He was like, look, my son, a little doggy. I was like,
Great.
but things Ziggy can be, Ziggy was like not phased at all. So
He seems like a sound guy. Just to very quickly be on this tangent, did you see the moment between him and Princess Anne yesterday after the game? This is it. Because again, like, if you saw it the last time, after the Calcutta Cup win, when we beat England, Sione goes up to get presented with a trophy. And he's obviously a very emotional person, a very big person, big personality, big guy. He just instinctively goes in to hug Princess Anne, which obviously with like, if anyone's watched The Crown, you know, like royal protocol,
not allowed.
you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't hug Princess Anne.
I love
So
it.
that became a bit of a talking point after that game. So then yesterday we beat France, record result, biggest win over France ever. We stuck 50
90
points.
points.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. he goes up, and then, like you say, they both see each other. They both kind of go, hug? Nah.
And it was just
Class.
formality.
Class act.
Kept it formal.
Yes.
And then I got the selfie with him. I know I'm going on about myself here. And I met Grant Hanley like 10
Not about
minutes
you,
later.
mate. Come
I was
on.
like, what's going on? I felt like I was in like a simulation. Or I was like, Scotland captain. I mean, Scott McTominay did his walkout or something. It's crazy.
So Grant Hanley, come on the podcast, please.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yep.
I was too nervous with him. I was like,
Neighbour.
yeah.
Grant.
Anyway, right.
So
So,
anyway,
what we're talking
the
about
scenes
there? Oh yeah,
at the
it's fantastic. Yeah, and like and I think there was then the reunion bears. It looked like they were going off. Then come back up. There's like flares getting chucked and
There
everything.
was an invisible wall
yeah.
for a bit, and then
And me and you joke because like commentators always go, "Oh, these are scenes you don't like to see," and you always think these are scenes we love to see. But then when we saw the fans coming right across and the flares going, they were like, "Actually, these are scenes you don't like to see." The Celtic fans have got the spectacle of the Brimlin stand again. They've I guess abused that privilege in a way by pouring onto the pitch. And then the Union
just
Bears
knew that
come
was
up
gonna
and-
happen,
and
yeah.
it's not a great look. But I mean, overall, you touched on it. You said it just shows how much a pressure cooker Scottish football is this season.
Yeah.
One result like that has led to an outburst at Ibrox. And you do feel like that's stuff that's bubbling over from the league and the way things have
100%.
been going.
It definitely speaks to just how much kind of general disruption there's been in Scottish football this season. The fact that you've got a resurgent Motherwell who have come out of nowhere and who are doing fantastically well. Obviously, we can speak about it, but obviously they were derailed a little bit yesterday with that one. But obviously, with Hearts being so fantastic, getting that lead at the top of the table, there was a real intense energy, and I think you could tell it. Even if we were just watching it on TV, you could feel the atmosphere from that stadium, the desperation from both sets of fans to get the win, because
I feel like it's louder.
it meant so much more to both of them.
I feel like every
Again,
time Celtic, Rangers and Hearts have played each other, I can feel how loud it is in the stadium just by watching it on the telly.
Precisely, and again, it just speaks to, like I said, just how much pressure there is on both of those clubs this season, that there can just be that amount of head loss from all involved at the end of a game like that.
Head loss is the word. That was generational head loss.
And it'll put, like, genuinely, I think it'll put real doubt in the minds of Rangers fans and Rangers players and the Rangers management. The fact that you've had 2 games against Celtic in the last week, not won either of them. Should have won both of them. You've got a 2-goal lead in the first one and let it come back to 2 each. And then today, like we said, dominant from start to finish and don't win. So, like, it's going to put a doubt in the mind as to what happens next.
Yeah, and the Danny Roll interview after the game was quite something. Obviously, just kind of trying to
post-truth world that we live in.
trying to shy away from
Arsene Wengering.
just trying to shy away from anything.
What was the
that's
question?
happened.
Would you like to see scenes
we
like that
don't-
at the end? And he went,
I didn't see
getting beat
anything.
on penalties. I didn't
see anything. I was down the tunnel. No, obviously Celtic staff, I think, was one of the first ones to get attacked.
I saw blood
By
on
the
the
Rangers fans.
shirt.
And then I was about to say,
I don't
yeah,
know if that was from an
it's
incident or if
transfer.
that was from the game, but
Yeah,
I think, again, it's one of those ones that all will come out in the fullness of time, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you remember the initial headlines after 2016 when Hibs Rangers played in the Scottish Cup final.
Yeah.
There was a lot of headlines about how many assaults had happened on the pitch, and there'll be a lot of things that will all become clear in the fullness of time, I'm sure.
we've just got one Old Firm game to go left. If the post splits, I'm sure that'll be a quiet affair.
yeah, nice calm one.
Yeah. So obviously Simon and Partick play tonight. We don't know what happens. You will. So by the time this comes out, we'll know the 4 teams and the draw for the semi-finals. So that'll be really good fun. Looking forward to that. Return to league action. So much praise on Motherwell over the last couple of weeks.
I was ready to really big them up.
I feel like praise was peaking. It was to the point people were really starting to go to the point where I actually said we were going to do. I had a funny wee segment planned for this episode where we were going to go. Oh,
Can Motherwell win
do
the
we
league?
still want Hearts to win the league? And I'll go no. And we'll, oh, you don't want Hearts to win? And I want Motherwell to win. I'm like, so wise and so different. But yeah, obviously Motherwell have finally been stopped in their tracks, and it was by Dundee of all
Unfortunately.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's by means not over. But a win today really put them on the hunt for Celtic and Rangers.
They would have been right behind them.
Yeah, and
Especially with the draw between Celtic and Rangers.
yeah. But at Dens Park,
Are we saying this is the start of the narrative that Stephen Presley should be the next Celtic manager?
I
A lot of that
you
is
could
coming.
see a few of them
You know?
tweets. I think Motherwell fans will be loving it if Stephen
Yeah.
Presley is
Oh,
the next
yeah,
Celtic
Motherwell
manager,
fans, yeah.
not Jens.
Jens can stay. You can have Stephen. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're done.
I mean, yeah, for like Stephen Presley said, for a jobby team, they've had some cracking results.
Yeah, and
Beat
that's
Motherwell, beat Celtic and Rangers this season. And yeah, the team probably I least expected to do it. Although Jens Bartholomew did say in his post-match that it's the team that's probably given him the most trouble of all the teams, and they've troubled them every game they've played this season.
Again as well. I think if you look at the stats from that game as well. Like, I didn't watch the full game, saw the highlights, but it did seem to be similar to most other Motherwell games this season, where Motherwell dominated possession, had more shots, more XG, more
like
everything.
It wasn't an off day.
Exactly, it was
just,
an
it didn't
aberration.
happen.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the road or a derailing of anything. It's a continuation, and sometimes you get games like that where it just doesn't fall for you. You lose the game, but all the metrics were there. The performance still seemed pretty good.
Yeah, nobody was expecting that. Definite coupon buster for some people, I'm
Yes,
sure.
it was.
Oh, do you even
from
wanna?
personal bitter experience? Yes, including on a coupon that had Italy beating England in the Six Nations. So thanks, Motherwell.
Yeah, that's it. First time ever. England
First
lost
time
to
ever.
Italy,
First
and
time ever in 33 meetings.
attempts,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you just needed
Motherwell to beat Dundee.
the best odds on the thing on your coupon.
1.85 odds.
Yeah, crazy.
Thanks,
Right.
guys.
So we've covered Scottish Cup, we've covered league action. One last opportunity to touch on the Scottish national team, just on
Always a good opportunity.
yeah,
Always a good opportunity.
Yeah, the World Cup. Like we're going to talk
coming
about
up?
it. Yeah, we're going to.
It's not far away.
It's under 100.
90 days, 99
Nice.
days until our first match, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it was 100 days yesterday.
Yeah,
So not far to
creeping
go.
up.
And you know what? The best thing I was saying this to you earlier, but so I've been out the house last week, but I'm going to be back in the office tomorrow. Got messages last week that big package has arrived at the front door of the office for me. It is the Lego World Cup trophy, which only goes to show there is no limit to how much I'm going to spend on
Yes.
stuff with a World Cup logo on it.
Yeah.
So I'll
So-
get that tomorrow.
Because I'm trying to go to, because we're both going to all the games and the bank account is already struggling. Instead of getting the Lego one, which was 150 quid, we've
Yeah.
got this one, which was
the real one loaned to us by Infantino.
Yes, obviously Gianni Infantino. Thank you again.
Shout out.
No, that was 20 quid off a TikTok shop. So I hope
good.
it looks good in the set. I could not afford the Lego one.
But
I
yeah,
had a voucher.
but yeah, lots of excitement building there. It's just creeping up.
Yep.
News on the opponent front, shall we say? Morocco have parted ways with their manager. He's actually stepped aside following their African Cup of Nations final loss to Senegal. Obviously, he took them to a semi-final at the last World Cup in Qatar. He's done quite well. He's done quite well getting them to the final of this AFCON. It was obviously in Morocco, so there was a lot of expectation.
So controversial.
That was great. I don't think you could
More
attribute that.
scenes. More
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah,
More
You do or don't want to see.
More drama.
His departure came with the quote from him, which was, "The team needs a fresh face, a different energy, and a new perspective with a new coach. I think the team needs a new lease of life before the World Cup, a new vision to continue progressing. My decision to leave is part of the team's evolution." Now, they have replaced him with Mohamed Ouabi, is obviously the predecessor.
On the 20s coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
won the World Cup with them. So it's
Yes.
it's Walid Regragui that's going out. Mohamed Ouabi coming in.
I'm sure that pronunciation was spot on as well.
It was. I
Absolutely.
YouTubed it there. It was. So, but yeah,
It's
obviously,
a shock. It's a shock.
I mean, Morocco are a team that's been doing really good things recently.
Yeah.
I
They've
think I
Cracked,
speak.
I think number 7 in the world right now. Number 8, something like
They
that.
should have been a pot one team.
Yes.
That's it. So
Probably.
They
I think-
should have been 100%.
I speak for us all when we say I think I would far prefer them stepping away from the consistency of a tried and
Proven
tested
coach,
manager that's
yeah.
done well with them over the
Yeah.
last couple of years into the unfamiliar territory of an under-20s coach who
Yes.
has done good things, but I mean,
It's
I'd far
men's football. It's different.
Yeah. So
I think also while also appreciating that they'll have a number of games. Obviously, we've got 3, potentially 4 friendly games between now and the World Cup. Morocco will have ultimately the same. So from us, from a kind of scouting and
Yeah.
analysis perspective, we will have a fair bit of evidence built up to how they're settling in with this new coach. So I think
Yeah.
we should hopefully still be prepared for what's to come.
what a
But I
time to
think
impose himself on a team. for
no,
a
it's
game.
not.
No,
It's
it's
really
not.
surprising. Again,
Yeah.
even just from a purely selfish perspective, like if you were in a job that had the opportunity to go take your country to a World Cup in 3 months' time, Surely you're doing that, and then you walk away after.
Because I thought he was
It's a crazy
sacked
promotion to get
because
as an employee.
I thought he was sacked because
Yeah,
there was a
no.
lot of talk when it was the AFCON final that there was some reports where if he doesn't win the AFCON he's getting sacked, and then obviously they didn't somehow.
From what I read, and this, it depends if it's true, he made the decision to leave and he was convinced to try and stay, and they couldn't convince him to stay. And his statement kind of backs it up, really.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was pushed. If you don't resign, we're going to sack you.
Yeah.
Keep your dignity. Who knows?
I don't think he did a bad job, though. I mean,
No,
that final was, like you said, like, winner. He could have won or lost that. I think there was other stuff going on there. And I don't think you can
first
blame at the manager's feet.
First African team ever to get to a World Cup semi-final in 2022, and then obviously
they were everyone's second team in 2022 for sure.
And now in the AFCON, we were obviously all hate watching them, and they were one kick away from winning it. Obviously, that would have been very controversial.
The
penalty was not a penalty, and I think even Chiefs or higher ups at the AFCON were calling it embarrassing. But I think justice was done in the end. And they didn't win it. But yeah, it's really surprising. Not long to go. As you say, only four games, but they're friendlies, so it's different to competitive
We
matches.
shall see. And then we'll see how they kick off against Brazil.
I know exactly. Well, 5 games for the playoffs, so
Yeah.
Oh well. Returning to the Scotland camp, we had spoken in the previous podcast about injuries mounting up. Got another potential one. Kieran Tierney could be out for a little bit. I think rumours of a potential broken foot. We were Googling what the recovery time for return to sport from a broken foot is 3 months. So 100, just under 100 days to the World Cup. That gives us
maybe a week wiggle room.
a week wiggle room.
Yeah.
But
Not
hopefully it's
great.
not as bad as that.
Hopefully
But,
not. Again, like we were saying earlier, obviously none of us are we're not doctors, we're not medically trained. And again, I think the one thing we do know as football fans is there's lots and lots of different bones in the foot, and obviously it's going to depend on which one's been broken, how badly, etc. Obviously, I'm a little bit older than you guys. I'm old enough to remember, England before one of their major tournaments when David Beckham broke one of the metatarsals in his foot, and I'm pretty sure it was the Sun on the front page of their paper before the World Cup. They printed a basically scale model of Beckham's foot that you could rub for good luck to make his metatarsal heal in time. So yeah, it was a full summer where all of the narrative around football in England was about a tiny little bone in David Beckham's foot. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe the Daily Record or the Sun will do KTs.
If Kieran Tierney's going to score a couple more goals like that at the World Cup
Yeah,
that he
that's
did
been
against
great.
Denmark, I'll rub his foot.
One of them. Yeah.
I'll literally drive around this house and
we'll
rub his
line
foot
it
for
up.
him.
So if you want a massage, let us know.
So I mean, apart from him though, I can't think on any recent big sort of things that have happened.
Yeah, I
around
think
the
obviously
squad.
McTominay's still out. McTominay's still out. He's dealing with his
inflammation.
thigh quad
inflammation
injury. Yeah.
He's kind of been living with it
Nothing
for a while
serious,
apparently.
though.
He's
Yeah.
been living with it for a little bit, and they've just kind of made the decision that
I think, it's the same with John McGinn, where he maybe, if it wasn't the World Cup, would maybe push himself to get back a bit
100%.
sooner. But I think what John McGinn said it with the Euros, he was like almost burnt out, and this time he's gonna feel fresh, hopefully.
Well, that's something-
100%. Like I genuinely, I would happily have all the guys injured right now. Like get them injured, give them a nice wee break, little preseason, to build their fitness back up. A few games at the end of the season, off to the World Cup.
We touched on it there about John McGinn being burned out the last Euros. I mean, I think we've spoke about this in the past as well, and I can't remember if we spoke about it in the last podcast, but I had an interview with Darryl Curry, and I think it was Michael Stewart and Alan
Yeah,
Hutton.
sports show.
And I seen that, and he actually, they kind of said what I'd been thinking, because I feel like there has been a pattern of John McGinn, who is a regularly very reliable player for Scotland, quite often one of our go-to men. His summer performances in the international window in June have quite often fell below par. Don't remember him doing too much at the first Euros. Second Euros, he was not really did anything of note.
No.
I remember the game at Dublin, where we played the Northern Republic of Ireland, in the Nations League. I think it was just after our
Just
3-0.
after the World Cup
the World Cup
against
playoff,
Ukraine,
where
which
again,
again a summer game.
I just remember,
Michael Obafemi scored
that long range one against
long
Craig
range
Gordon.
one. Yeah.
3-0 defeat. But I just remember thinking, watching John McGinn in that game, going, he must be absolutely cooked, because this is not the John McGinn we know and we expect.
Because he didn't even get a break.
No,
I mean,
and he doesn't get a break. And do you
end of season?
I know.
back into the Euros, Nations League, and then back to the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know I'm just echoing what they said, but like, I'm guessing you guys agree. This, because based on what you've just said, I think it is a good thing. He's getting this little break. This because he said it himself. He's like, the first thing I thought about was the World Cup when I got the entry. And I don't blame him. But like, I think this really could benefit him because he'll be coming into the World Cup off the back of potentially 3 months on the sidelines. He'll get a nice reintroduction,
Like you said,
to
fitness.
building up his fitness and that. And we might
Hopefully peaking.
just ready to go
100%.
when the World Cup
Because
starts.
I get it. I think like you're saying there, the most important thing now is just that everyone is fit and healthy and well and ready to go. Because obviously, we're all speaking about this World Cup opportunity as kind of once in a lifetime opportunity for us as fans. Obviously, you guys.
Hopefully it's not once in a lifetime.
But you know what I mean. In terms of like 28 years is such a long time. There's so many folk that
Yeah.
weren't even alive the last time we.
Yeah, my
qualified
brother
for a
was
World
born
Cup.
in 95,
This is it, right?
and he doesn't remember that. And obviously,
I'm 97.
There
Not
you
a
go.
clue.
and I
Exactly.
don't.
So you guys barely
yeah.
remember it. I won't dox my own date of birth on this one, but I do remember the last World Cup in 1998. Just
I've
so
seen photos of you in the top actually.
exactly.
I wasn't
literally,
born, so-
literally, my first ever football shirt was that France '98 shirt, which I'm very proud of. But you know what I mean. So for these guys, they deserve this opportunity to go to a World Cup, and I think it would just be absolutely heartbreaking if any of them were to miss it through it. So I'm desperate that they all go, and like we said there, you want them to be able to go in a way that they can do themselves justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as well, I don't know why when you're talking about guys that deserve to go to World Cups, Andy Robertson, goal and assist, lovely little goal. He scored.
Lovely.
Reminiscent almost. I know it wasn't the exact same sort of goal, but it reminded me of his first goal under Clark.
Yeah, from outside the box against Cyprus.
That was so
Cyprus, wasn't it?
tucked
Yeah.
it into the corner quite well. Good to see him getting a start for Liverpool again, even if it's just in the cup.
I mean, he could have gone away. There was rumours of him going to Atletico Madrid, and
then Spurs.
again.
Spurs.
And
Spurs
Spurs
in
was
the
the
winter.
one that was deadline day or nearabouts, and he could have went and played 50 games. But it's probably, again, selfishly, it's probably good that he's been.
Still want him playing some, so
Yeah.
But it's a good amount.
yeah.
It's probably where he'll be again. Like hopefully John McGinn peaking in fitness, where he's not burnt out.
It's just like you're just walking that tightrope of wanting them to, like, not wrapping them in bubble wrap and not wanting them to play too much.
You don't want them to be like
I know.
Yeah.
Again,
not fit for the World Cup either.
Yeah.
I think as well, like the really, really nice thing about that period, like you said, when there was the transfer rumours at the end of the window where he might have gone to Spurs, what I really, really liked, I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as well, was just seeing the kind of outpouring of Liverpool fans online.
Yeah.
Very different, obviously, to the scenario with Trent Alexander-Arnold, even though there was a fair bit of comparison. But again, the reaction from Liverpool fans being, look, we understand why he'd want to leave. Obviously, he's not playing every game. Kerkez is his first choice. But good God, he's been a good player for us.
A legend.
Well, this is it. And again, it's good sometimes to take stock and step back and think, actually, God, you know what? You will go down as a legend of that club. He's literally won everything there is to win. Champions League, Premier League, everything there is to win. You were saying earlier in the pub, obviously, his post-match interview. Where
I was going to say, just like in terms of taking stock and seeing what he's achieved.
Yeah.
He was asked whether or not he's proved a point tonight by, scoring and assisting, and whether or not he might get a starting position over Carnage. And he just said, "Look, I've got nothing to prove," which is a fair point. He's achieved so much.
Look at my locker. Look at the medals. Look at what I've achieved for this club.
And the one thing he's
that's
missing,
the legacy right there.
Only a World Cup left, eh?
That's what, So that's what I was literally going to say. So,
but again as well, I liked him. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Kenny Dalglish in January
on the warm up
said on the warm up said basically he hoped Andy Robertson stayed, not just because he's a good player for Liverpool and he's done really well. But he wanted him to stay, didn't want him to leave in January because he said, look, he deserves a send-off, 100%. And I think that's exactly what you're going to see this summer, which again, like we said, befitting of the player and the man and what he's done for that club. So yeah, well, he can get his send-off and send him straight off to the World Cup.
Really was one of the first kind of modern fullbacks in the new era. Him and Alexander-Arnold kind of
reinvented,
With
revolutionised
Mane and Salah up ahead of them. They were just
insane.
unbelievable for that Jurgen Klopp.
Still a travesty he didn't get nominated for the Ballon d'Or in 2018, 2019.
That was the first thing I checked when McTominay got nominated, because I was like, well, surely Robertson was, and he actually wasn't. That is kind of mental.
It wasn't the first one since Alan McCoist.
Yeah, no, that shocked me. But yeah, Robertson, obviously a good goal.
Yep.
Another player that scored a goal, he got his first goal in Italy, Kieran
Today?
Bowie. Verona beating Lewis Ferguson's Bologna.
In Bologna as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good result for a team
Yep.
that's like struggling at the bottom of this table. I think it's 3-1 that ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
great
2-1. I
result.
don't know if one of them was disallowed.
Oh yeah. Oh well, but anyway, Bow grabbed the second, and it was
Mhm.
it was a nice little striker's goal. Nothing overly spectacular, but you
Give
know,
him some confidence.
yeah, nice to see him get his first goal in Italy, and hopefully he can kick on from there. Because he's someone I would expect to see in the squad, which will be getting
March.
released in the next couple of weeks, maybe next week. Before we host Japan and then travel down to Liverpool for Ivory Coast. So yeah, I think we've covered everything there, though. It's been a fairly
Busy
busy couple
weekends.
of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'll call it there. But Gordon, glad to have you on. I'm sure
Thank
it's
you
not
so much.
the last time we'll have you in talking to us.
Just can't wait to do this in Boston.
Hey,
Yeah.
if we can get one more check bag, we'll get this
Yeah.
mammoth studio of all this equipment out, and maybe we can do a podcast in between games when we beat Haiti 7-0.
Buzzing.
No, that'd be class. But anyway, yeah, it's been another good one. I hope people are enjoying the show and the way we're now doing this new dynamic. It's been good fun. Absolutely brilliant. Good chat to you, and we'll see you in the next one.